creatures of the night? It's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Collision. This was the 1 year anniversary episode, and honestly, the first thing I can think of is where did a year go? It literally seems like it's been less than a year since Collision started. I remember covering the very first episode of Collision, and here we are a year later. And it's just been an absolute amazing ride. I do feel like, well, a lot has happened in that 1 year. There has been some changes for the best and some not for the best. However, I've enjoyed Collision for the most part since they started. Now, we do start off with our stepdaddy, who's basically opening up and letting everyone feel the warmth of our father. He's saying that AEW is where the best wrestle, and that with there being Father's Day tomorrow, there's a special treat for us tonight on Collision. So we get in that little Father's Day, little stepdaddy celebration thing that they're doing for Christian. We'll talk about that in a moment. However, our first match is Blackpool Combat Club versus TMDK, Leo Rush, and Rocky Romero in a really great opening match. Both these teams are really great in terms of getting everybody all riled up and ready, pumped up for the show. So it was really, really great to have that energy to start off the show. While both teams had great chemistry, there were some times where it's like, and I always say this with multi-man matches, like, it gets to the point where things do get a little bit messy, and it's just like, all right, everybody calm your asses down, and let's get things to be in order here, because it's getting to be a little bit of an eyesore with everybody flipping and throwing themselves all over the place. It was a lot to take in, like, towards the middle end of the match before things finally got to be better. We do have Moxley taking the win on end up pinning Leo Rush after a Death Rider. And man, Leo Rush looks like, I read that he was like 5'6" or something like that. And I'm just like, that's a motherfucking lie. This guy looks like, I'm 5'2", I'm 5'3". He gotta be shorter than me. Like, for sure. He looks like a little munchkin with everyone in the ring. But man, he's so quick and he always do his thing. Rocky Romero, I feel like he was barely in this match, but whatever. Really good match to start off the show with. After the match, we do have Moxley on the ring, and I'm just like, oh, okay, let's see what they're going to talk about today. And all he says was, Naito, I'm coming for you at Forbidden Door. Okay, great. Anything else other than that you're going to finish his career? I feel like every time he talks about Naito, it's the same thing. I wish that he would have said something different. It just was meh, whatever. I would say this though. After that, we do have Tony Schiavone, who is welcoming the Acclaim to the ring. And, it's the Acclaim, daddy ass, they coming on over there. And I don't know if y'all have seen on social media, but the Acclaim, well, not the whole group. Anthony Bowens was fined $5,000 basically for just existing. And they're not happy about it. But here comes Max Caster, who's like, do y'all want me to roast them or whatever? And I'm just like, no, I don't want you to roast them. I want you to get out the fucking ring so I can see some wrestling here. I'm sorry. The Acclaim bandwagon thing, it's over. It's over. No one really cares at this point. We got to do something. They are going to be facing the EVPs on Wednesday, and it's an eliminator match. So if they get a chance, if they actually win, they'll be able to face the EVPs later on for the tag titles. Now, while we have Max Caster about to bore us with his rapping, here comes Brandon Cutler, the EVP's camera boy, who comes out once again, and he had papers in his hands, and he's like, well, you know what? We're going to find you an extra $5,000, so a total sum of $10,000. Then here comes the fake Adam Priest, Christopher Daniels, who come out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little on the fence about Christopher Daniels' role here. I don't know, something about it has not really grabbed me yet, but we'll see. He comes out there, basically shut things down and say, hey, Tony Khan said, give these boys their money back. Y'all don't have to worry about it. Y'all not fined or anything. Now, Brandon, he just out here doing his job, and he's getting all loud with Christopher Daniels, and he started poking him on his chest. So then here is Christopher Daniels defending himself and hitting him with a clipboard. Now he ends up rolling down the whole fucking ramp, and then somehow makes his way into the ring and they hold him down while Anthony Bowen's giving him a shiver me timbers, and I'm just like, all right, I'm bored. I'm so fucking bored. I don't care about this. Now after this, we got Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa in a no DQ match, which I didn't know until during the match. They had the tables, they had the garbage cans, several weapons in the ring, and I'm looking at this and I'm just like, for me personally, I would like to see Deonna win. They had a match at the pre-show, Double or Nothing. Deonna won that match as well. And while I was rooting for Deonna, surprise, surprise, Deonna actually wins this. I don't know where the story goes. I do feel like while I have enjoyed these two girls feuding, it would have really taken things to another level if they ended up being in a triple threat match with Toni Storm, which is way too late right now. Toni Storm is way too deep in what's going on with Mariah May and Mira Shirakawa. Like all these things, she's way too deep into that stuff. It's just not going to play out like this. Was this them putting a cap on whatever's going on between Thunder Rosa and Deonna? Maybe, not 100% sure. Deonna takes the win via submission, and the way she put Thunder Rosa's arm way back is just like, holy moly, I literally thought she could have broke her fucking shoulders by doing this. It was very, very painful to watch. But it was an interesting match. And for me, while I thought it was interesting, the crowd just didn't seem to be into it. Now, they were saying real early, we want tables, like they always do. They bring out the tables. Whenever they bring out the weapons, they get excited about it. But then the excitement dies down really, really quickly. For whatever reason, maybe it's that they wasn't into the whole thing. I have no clue. After this, we do have Dalton Castle, who comes out. Dalton Castle have these two new boys that are with him that I'm just not feeling at all. They're not at all. And then they come out with two other new boys, which actually are the Outrunners, which was absolutely hilarious. Dalton Castle was just like, what the hell are they doing here with me? But whatever. They all come out together. And their opponent, who is Dalton Castle's opponent, Hechicero from CMLL. But when he comes out with the Gates of Agony. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Now, this was weeks ago, if anybody even remembers this. But Hechicero seemed to have joined their group or some type of alliance with the Cage of Agony. No clue what that was about, because since then, maybe it was a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, they literally never brought it back up. He's never actually been seen with them ever again since that moment. And here we have him coming to the ring with the Gates of Agony. And I'm just like, all right, so now it makes sense. The Outrunners are with Dalton Castle, and then the Gates of Agony is with Hechicero. But then I turn and look, the Outrunners is out with the other new boys. They don't have anything to do with this. So they don't want to get hurt. They leave, and they end up having... The match is okay. Hechicero, in my opinion, he has a luchador style, but he also is very technical. And I feel like it's not necessarily Dalton's style. So I kept wondering, like, how is this going to work out, like, compared to someone who's more of Hechicero's style? And it was just okay. It was what it was. After this, though, Hechicero obviously wins. Do I have to even say that? Here we have the Gates of Agony in the ring to deliver a beatdown. We love a good old-fashioned beatdown on Dalton Castle. So I'm just like, all right, the Outrunners, they're going to come out at some point and help Dalton Castle. They come out, but they don't help. Definitely don't help. They end up getting their ass whooped. And then here comes Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic, of all people, come in to help. And obviously, Hechicero and the Gates of Agony ends up leaving and retreating. I'm going to say this. Hechicero looks great with the Gates of Agony. I actually think they look really great with each other. What I don't like here is Daniel Garcia kind of seeming to be like, what? Why are you here? Like, why are you here? And then, as usual, Daddy Magic is drugged into whatever Daniel Garcia got going on. And it's just like, bro, I know under that little dad bod's tracksuit you got on, you're definitely taped up with kinesio tape and all that stuff. Like, you might as well just sit down on commentary and stop getting involved with whatever foolishness Daniel Garcia is doing. This whole thing didn't really make sense, but don't be surprised if we end up seeing a trios match with both of these teams. I don't care about this. All right. So what I thought they might have ended the show with, maybe our stepdaddy Christian, he's here. Before he comes out is Luchasaurus, well, Kill Switch. Let me say that. Mama Wayne and Nick Wayne, and they have like this portrait, and it's covered with whatever. It's covered with something, so you can't see what it is. Mama Wayne already getting booed, and she's like, "You boo me, a mother?" Oh my god, I love when she say that. Like, I love it. I fucking love it. Anyway, she introduces Christian. Christian comes out, and when he comes out, like, I've never noticed this before, but when he comes out, obviously on the big screen they do the countdown from 10 to 1. I always remember that, but now they have words like respectful. What's the other words that it said? Oh my god, he had the best words and best adjectives to describe himself. And by the time you get to like halfway, you're just like, Christian, are we talking about you? This is not about you at all. Sending all these beautiful words about himself that kind of don't really match with what's going on. But, it's our stepdaddy. We'll let it slide. He gets into the ring. He's obviously happy to be in the ring with his sons. And he does go on to say, ironically, that today is the anniversary of Nick Wayne's father passing. And it actually is, right? And you would think that maybe Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne would be crying about it, but they're smiling and everything. And Christian Cage was like, well, it was a good thing that he died, because if he didn't die, you wouldn't have met me to take over and be that father figure in your life. And I'm just like, damn, this is just absolutely very harsh. I'm loving it. Now, Nick Wayne has a present for our stepdaddy, and I'm gonna show the picture here because it's absolutely insane. It is a fucking note, okay, little Father's Day card that he wrote him. It looks like a 5-year-old wrote this. Not only does it look like that, but he even scratched off a word that he was attempting to spell. This looks like some elementary shit. It's so fucking funny, and Christian loves it. But then he turns around and there's this portrait that's covered up, and he wants to open it. This one is from Luchasaurus, Kill Switch. And then he unveils it, and it's not a painting. It's whatever it is of our stepdaddy, and it looks okay to me. Not all that, but whatever. I couldn't do anything that great anyway. Now Christian sees it, and he's looking at it, and he's probably wanted to say something nice, but then he goes on and say it's okay. Then he completely dismisses Luchasaurus and go on to talk to Nick Wayne and how much Nick Wayne put so much thought and effort in his little kindergarten card and shit. It's so fucking funny. Now, obviously, the crowd, they're not happy about this, so they're chanting for Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage is not feeling them calling Luchasaurus out of his name is Kill Switch, and even I gotta remind myself about that too. He's not happy about this. Now, Kill Switch, I was about to say Luchasaurus again, he is feeling some type of way because he is Christian is all up on Nick Wayne and prefers Nick Wayne, and he gets jealous. So now he's about to leave the ring with his short arms, and then Christian is like, bring your ass back over here. We're not done. Christian goes on to talk about how they're going to be going for the trios title, and that he will get a rematch for the world title against Swerve because his shoulders were never on the mat when the ref count to 3. But since he's not petty, he's going to leave that alone and just go for trios titles with his sons. And then after that, obviously, they're going to be on to bigger and better things. And he goes, you know what? Tony Khan's father gave him money, that he borrowed. And now he has AEW. And he goes, Tony Khan, I'm your father now. And I'm just like, holy shit, this took a turn that I did not see from the beginning. And then he goes on to say, how he's like the greatest wrestler ever. And he goes on to say, something, then, now, and forever. And I said, wait, isn't that like WWE's catchphrase? I was fucking dying. When I tell you, Christian is a fucking savage, I love him. He's amazing. Okay, so now we have Dante Martin versus Lee Moriarty. Whoever wins this goes on to being in the TNT ladder qualifying match for the TNT title at Forbidden Door. And I feel like right from the jump, you already know where they're going. A little earlier on in the show, we had Leo Rush, who comes and pretty much interrupts Top Flight's little promo, whatever the fuck they were saying. Who knows? This is the first time that we actually got a chance to have Top Flight as a group on the mic doing a promo, and it's actually interrupted. Now, Leo Rush, obviously, he's acquainted with our boy Action Andretti. They have history with each other, obviously. And then Dante Martin, who he took under his wing, while Darius had got hit by a car and all these other things that went on with him. It was a whole bunch of fiasco. But whatever the situation is, this is his first time actually meeting Darius. So it was a little bit of a shady moment with them. But now fast forward, we have this match. And it's really good with Dante and Lee Moriarty. I really do feel like while, oh God, how do I say it? It wasn't bad, but I know Lee Moriarty. He's way more technical than what we saw here in this match. And it's like, it could have been better. It could have been better, but it wasn't bad. And it was very predictable here with Dante taking the win. So he's moving on to Forbidden Door. After this, we do have Shane Taylor Promotions, who comes out and put the paws on Dante, and they're beating him up while he's celebrating. Obviously, Action Andretti and Darius Martin comes out and, try to even things up a little bit. And I have to say this, Anthony Ogogo, why are you wearing the same fucking suit every time you come out? Like, he's not even trying to hide it. This is literally the same suit every single time. It's just like, what else do you have in that closet? Do you need a stylist? Should I help you find a nice suit so you can wear something different? Now, here comes Leo Rush, who comes in to help as well. And after he comes in to help and Shane Taylor Promotions scatter like flies, nobody in that group seemed to want to shake hands with Leo Rush. Everybody's being a little bit shady towards him, but he just came out and helped y'all asses. I don't know what was up with that. After this, we do have Kyle O'Reilly, who was so great. I've been enjoying like all his matches lately, versus Anthony Henry, my boy Anthony Henry, who is super talented. Like, I love him with the Workhorseman with JD Drake, but I do feel like he has something really special where he can be doing singles competition. I actually think I would prefer that, but it's not up to me. Really great match with Kyle O'Reilly. However, Anthony's another one. He's a great striker, but he can be technical as well. And I felt like, if I were to try to show somebody Anthony Henry, I know this is not the match that I would show someone. So I felt like, for those of you who are not familiar with Anthony Henry, I would not reference this match to show you how well he can do in the ring. He's so much better than that. And sometimes I know, like, with wrestling being predetermined and them, pretty much choreographing what goes on in the match, sometimes I don't want to say Anthony's a better opponent than Kyle. I really do feel like there's a lot of similarities between them. But because you're trying to book to have one of these wrestlers come out on top, it kind of seems like the other one has to dumb it down a little bit and kind of not be as great as it normally would be. It's a little bit of a weird concept, and we see that a lot with wrestling. However, I do feel like if they were given some more time, because this wasn't a squash, but this was a little bit on a shorter side, Anthony Henry could have shown what he's capable of doing. Meanwhile, we do have the Undisputed Kingdom. They are on commentary, and obviously Roderick Strong is just tucking out of his ass. However, they're watching and making sure that their besties doing okay. If you ask Kyle O'Reilly, they're not his besties. Now, after the match, Kyle is looking over and he sees the Undisputed Kingdom are watching him from sitting at the booth with the commentators, and he's just looking at them. And Roderick obviously is still trying to show him that he loves them and that, he should come on over to the dark side and join them. And you know what? I agree. By the way, before I get to the main event, Nigel McGuinness is absolutely wild on commentary. Like, you cannot watch Collision on mute. You are going to miss part of the best part of Collision, which is Nigel McGuinness, who is absolutely entertaining. I love him. Tony Khan, give us Nigel versus Bryan Danielson at All In. I've been a good girl. I deserve it. Now, let's talk about the main event, because we had some drama. We had the Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black. The titles are not up for grabs. Matter of fact, I don't even know how we got here with this match, but it's happening. Now, Juicy is taking Jay's role here. Obviously, you know, Jay and the Ass Boys, they won the trios titles and unified it with the six-man tag titles. And for whatever reason, we've been getting Card Blade these past 2 weeks. I mean, not 2 weeks, past two shows. And Jay White's nowhere to be found. I don't know what that's about, but Juicy is now, I guess, under the Freebirds rule, he is champion as well. So he is with the group, whatever. Really great match, by the way. What the hell is going on with Juice Robinson over here putting his leg up like he's a dog taking a piss on Malachi Black? What is going on with that? I don't know. This guy is unhinged sometimes in the ring. While I did enjoy this match, we had some drama. Malachi and them, they're doing their thing, but then Buddy gets hurt. He hurts his knee. He's against a steel step and he's holding on his knee, oohing and eyeing, hoping the doctors can come check him out. They come out, check him out, and then it took 60 doctors to take him to the back because he's a big dude and he needs help. So they end up taking him to the back. The crowd is just like, oh no, Buddy, what are we gonna do without you? It's gonna be 3-on-2 now. And I'm just like, you know what? Brody is as big as another person, so it's pretty much still even if you ask me. Now the match continues, and with there obviously being 2 people on that team and 3 on the other, people are looking at it as all right, they're going to lose. But then, out of the blue, right where it seems like Juicy's about to wrap this shit up, here comes Pac with a distraction and ends up pushing Juice from the top rope before he can come down. He ends up ending awkwardly, and Malachi takes advantage of that and ends up kicking this bitch right in the face. And trust me, if I got kicked in the face like that, I would not get up too. 1, 2, 3, we have our winners. Now, I thought this was okay. Didn't mind Pac being there. It made sense. Pac is obviously beefing with Bang Bang Gang still for whatever reason. I don't care. However, while it seems like, you know, we could be congratulating House of Black, which they probably don't want to be congratulated, here comes our stepdaddy on the screen, and he's just like, oh, you know, how y'all gonna be able to go for the trios title when there's only 2 of y'all? And then they show Buddy Matthews laid out flat on the ground on top of a chair with Christian holding a chair on his hand. And I'm just like, oh my God. See, our stepdaddy said he had a present for us, and this is it. This is us getting a present from him. We don't deserve this. We really don't. However, they end up moving around, and then here comes Luchasaurus taking the painting that he made for his daddy and throwing it on Buddy Matthews, and then walks away. I really enjoyed this. I really did. Like, they could have literally ended the show with just, you know, them pretty much taking a win and that's it. But with them having that moment with Christian after was really, really cool. Now we finally get to see something happening with the trios division. I don't care who it is that helped bring some prestige to these titles. We could try to see what we can do with the Bang Bang Gang right now. If that doesn't work out, we still have Christian and his sons to do something about it. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I did enjoy this episode. I forgot to mention that there was a video package celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Collision, and that video package was done so well. And yes, CM Punk was in it. How could you show something about Collision and not put Punk in there? Is absolutely impossible. And it looks like a freaking great video to show how well they've done throughout this year. And here's to another year. Tony Khan, you do your shit right. You give me a call, put me on a payroll for somebody that can help you out. We're running the damn thing. And hey, you'll have another few more years of Collision. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back on Tuesday with part 3 review on Who Killed WCW. I can't wait to hear Vince Russo say bro for the billionth time.